This is part 3 of, I guess, my uploads for how to take an old tool shed and turn it into a chicken coop. What you're looking at is the old shed that I've just been working on for about a week now, off and on with the weather because it's been raining almost every day. I also said I was going to fence it in, and as you can see, I've sunk some posts and put some, I guess, basically 4-foot fencing in, and just kind of made it like 4 or 5 feet high so they can't fly out, and then sunk it about 2 inches deep in the ground and just put some rock around it so hopefully nothing will dig in. Put a gate on it as well, and I'll try to close the gate real quick here for you. So it's a horse gate that we had just laying around, and I just basically converted it, put some wire on it, and hopefully it'll keep the chickens in and keep the predators out. So but anyway, I'm going to give you a tour real quick of how it turned out. This is the front walking down. It's kind of on a slope, and what I did is, for ventilation, I cut some panels on the top and on the bottom, and I put some wire on the front, so basically they would be safe if I kept them inside for a bad day or a winter day or whatever it may be. They could still get some fresh air. So inside, and this is the door you're going to see, you can see what I've done here. I've cut it out. I'll get you back far away shot so you can see it. Sorry about the sun, it may be a little bright, but what I did is I basically just cut it out, and then I put these little pieces of wood on the frame, and I have to do it with one hand. Well, maybe I can do it with two. Maybe not. I put some handles on it so you can basically just grab it, and then drop it down. And then you can see where the frame is for the for ventilation. So, and then that's the piece that goes back in. And so I just basically did that on the top and the bottom, and I'll show you. That's kind of what it looks like from the outside. Just a hole with some wiring on the front. Anyway, so that was one of the things I did. Inside, I also laid down some vinyl flooring, as I mentioned I was going to do earlier too, just to keep the floor from rotting out. It wasn't too expensive. I was able to find a pretty cheap piece at your local Lowe's or Home Depot. And inside, what I did is I guess I'll start over here with the egg and the food side. I created. There's no chickens in here right now because we're getting them tomorrow, but I've created just 12 boxes. I mean, it's overkill. It's more than I need, but if we ever increase our flock and we needed more, at least they're here. They can be used. So over here on this side is where the food is going to hang. It's suspended from the ceiling on a hook, and then I've basically ran. I don't have electricity here or water, in here yet, but the electricity is just basically going to be a floodlight that I've connected with an extension cord that's going to be connected, and I've cut a hole so I could run it to the house. So, I've done it in the past in other situations for animals that I've had, so it worked out okay. So the water is going to go on top of the bricks there. It'll be heated so it won't freeze, and anyway, so that's that. So on this side, I've created the roosting area. So I came up with the idea. I had a lot of this material I had already here. I didn't have to really buy a whole lot. I had a lot of wood and a lot of just things laying around, and an old shed that had a lot of things in it. And I just took the bench that was sitting and not being used, and I just kind of put it in here, and I put it underneath the roost. So this way, which I kind of built that too, but it'll be underneath the roost. So when they do their business, it'll fall onto that, not onto the floor. So I'll be able to have a quicker cleanup, and it'll be a lot easier to take care of for maintenance. I created some walkovers, just from the roost to the egg, and these are all temporary. They can be moved. They're not nailed down or screwed down or anything. And I put one on the bottom as well, so this way they can get up and inside the actual egg boxes. Now, as you see, I put some eggs already in there. They're ceramic. With new chickens coming in, you always want to kind of guide them a little bit and have them know where they're going to go and do their laying. So this way, I kind of figured at least it wouldn't be a bad thing just to kind of put. And they're kind of cool. They're just basically ceramic, and they don't come with stripes on them. I did that just so I don't get them mixed up with their eggs. But you know, it shouldn't matter to them. They just know where there's an egg, they'll go and hopefully lay. I put this above it, basically this kind of a lid, so they don't go any higher and roost any higher, because they usually try to roost as high as possible. So I thought that would maybe, you know, be helpful, and you know, hopefully if nothing else, it'll just, you know, make them feel more secure. This side I just kind of got creative. I went outside and had an old tree, an old pine tree, a spruce tree that was just sitting there and it was dying. So I figured I'd cut it down and cut the limbs off it and kind of just turn it into a roost, you know, and this way they like the natural, you know, wood, and it smells great. So it's almost like Christmas in here, I guess. But yeah, I just basically cut it down and I just, you know, attached it by putting these roosting arms, you know, whatever I had miscellaneous wood left over, or sometimes I used a broom handle or something that wasn't being used or being thrown away, and I cut it off. So it's just being creative, you know, whatever you do. But hopefully they'll use it, and if they don't, that's okay, because they still have this over here. There's the vents that we put in earlier. I think I showed that on an earlier video. So guys, basically, you know, it took about a week, but actually it would have been less because of the weather. Like I said, I wasn't able to spend hours doing this. It was only an hour here, 2 hours there. So, but it was well worth it, and I can't wait to get the chickens in here. We're getting them tomorrow, like I said. The cost, minimal. I mean, if I spend $150, that's the maximum I spent. It was probably even less than that, but a lot of these materials I had, I just kind of, you know, cannibalized what I had in other areas and just made it work, you know. So basically, you know, they're going to have a great place to live, and hopefully we'll be able to increase our flock for years to come. So I hope you enjoyed this. Very simple things. There's not hard to do. It's just basically with a couple saws and, you know, some horses and some nails and hammer and screws and drill, and it's just, you know, basic stuff, guys. It's not that hard. So anyway, thank you for watching. Hope this helps you out with some ideas, and you know, you guys can hopefully increase your flock as well. Thanks. Take care.